Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV International. Of course, the information technology and the artificial intelligence are two topics that are very important nowadays for the future, not just of the country, but for the entire human race. And to be developing the artificial intelligence in a certain field like the automotive industry here in the country is a topic worth discussing. And I'm honored to be having with me over the program for today Professor Wael Badawi, the professor and the head of the data sciences and the cybersecurity department at the School of Artificial Intelligence and a member of the Egyptian Council of Research on Communication and Information Technology. Professor Wael Badawi, thank you very much for being with us today on Nile Cruise.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
Anytime. Of course, the automotive industry, or the technology that is being used in the automotive industry, not just for Egypt, but for the entire world, is very important for a number of topics for the future of the human race. How do you see the importance of it for the country, at least in the near future?
The question about using of artificial intelligence in automotive or in logistics or in mobile environment, it's a key, because if we understand artificial intelligence in the right way, it's an algorithm or a system or a framework which can produce or pretend a human intelligence. So it could mimic the simple repeated tasks that human can do. So if we look at the green environment, if we look at reduced fuel consumption, keep the vehicle itself on the same speed, all of these technologies are easier to implement using artificial intelligence. Yes. Nowadays, if we look at artificial intelligence in vehicles, there is a long-term vision, which having autonomous vehicles, which means vehicles can move on its own, can talk to each other, can understand what kind of roads, and this is a very forward-looking vision. The current vision we have been experienced right now is vehicle subsystem, which means if you would like to have a speed control or a cruise control, the vehicle can really sense the vehicles around it, so it can give you an early warning as a driver.
Yes.
This driver assistive system are actually in implementation in some brands. Interestingly enough, that Egypt has key producers or key engineering firm which designs this kind of subsystems. In the smart village, there are at least 3 or 4 companies, some of them are multinational companies, which design and produce this particular technology using Egyptian hands, and most likely they are implemented in the current factories in Egypt. So this is a key technology from my point of view.
Artificial intelligence and information technology in general for themselves in the near future here in the country?
Currently, people are actually they actually experience it, because I don't talk about inside the vehicle, but outside the vehicle, all cameras taking speed tickets. If you have a seat belt ticket, all of these tickets have been now programmed by artificial intelligence to pre-screen all the images. However, if we talk about drivers and passengers inside vehicles, they experience it, because if you would like to have a routing software, or what we call it a map driver, I don't want to say the commercial keyword, because we are not here to talk about commercial brands.
Yes.
But if you understand how to maneuver between destination, between source or starting point to destination using an application on your phone, this is a pure artificial intelligence, because it shows you which one are the faster, which one are the most economical for using gas, what time will you arrive, and it's an estimation. If the road condition will change, the driver will feel it, because he will get basically a notification.
Yes.
In some tracking system, maybe more than 10, 20 years ago, some tracking systems, they do implement systems to detect the driver condition. How the eye people will look at the road. Are you really focusing on the road or something else? Huge truck companies and big brands of it, they already have this driver monitoring system. Standard drivers right now in I don't want to call it high-end vehicles, but in so many vehicles, when they turn on the radar around the vehicle, they start to feel notification when somebody's approaching the vehicle.
Yes.
When many cars, when you do change lane, all of these are systems made by machine learning, which is part of artificial intelligence. Machine learning, it's a subset of artificial intelligence where a human teach the machine how to behave and how to mimic a specific human behavior when the conditions raises themselves or when the conditions appear to happen. And this is where AI or artificial intelligence is currently in practice. It's not in the tuk-tuk because the tuk-tuk is still not a fancy one.
Yes.
However, in so many of the new vehicles, this technology do exist.
Yes. You've mentioned, Doctor, that it is being applied to the high-end vehicles, which means that they could be used in the more expensive vehicles, something that is not really accessible to everyone here in the country or maybe in the globe. So how can we be reducing the expenses to be maybe more accessible to the people, to be easier for me and to be easier for anyone else to be experiencing that?
The reason for this technology to exist currently in the high-end vehicle because this technology have been developed by industry.
Yes.
And the industry are spending money and investing in developing new technology. Usually they would like to get the return on investment faster, so they apply this technology to the high-end vehicles.
Yes.
With the time evolving, this technology will they will recover majority of the cost and expenses. So at that point, this technology will come more cheap. It will come affordable to other vehicles. We have also to understand that the new vehicles, they do have computer built in.
Yes.
They have some sort of automation. So when the vehicle is not 100% mechanical, it's electromechanical or what we call it mechatronic, the vehicles is ready to accept more and more and more software. At that point, the vehicle will adopt the new technology. So don't be worried, just wait for a couple of years. You will realize that this technology will be presented itself, will be deployed in lower end or you can call it lower cost vehicle because technically the original producer already recovered majority of the cost and now he is ready for the mass system. We have been seeing in this technology in so many, like if you recall 10 years ago, ABS system or advanced braking system where the system will not lock on the disc, it will give you some freedom so the vehicle will not slide.
Yes.
This used to be in the high end. Nowadays, it looks to us as a standard equipment in almost any vehicles. So just you don't need to worry too much when it comes to me. It will come. The other alternative right now...
But we need patience and time.
Patient time.
Yes.
The other approach right now is we start to see so many of this technology portable on phones and mobile applications. So by having this technology on phone and mobile applications, eventually majority of the vehicle right now will have what we call a dashboard or a pad where you can touch a screen, you can control so many pieces of the vehicle, which means that majority of the vehicle right now are ready to deploy more software. So it will be available. And also there are third party we have been watching right now in the spare market. There are third party manufacturers who will do the sensors for you, and you can go to any mechanical shop and the mechanic shop will basically install this sensor and develop the electronics. However, we don't advise the viewers with this technology as a third party installation till they verify that their vehicle will not go outside the warranty of the manufacturer, because majority of the original manufacturer will prohibit anybody playing with the electrical part of the vehicle outside their shop. But this technology is currently available. If your car is more than 10 years old, you can find these pieces and install it in your car.
Yes, Professor Wael, you've mentioned a very important point, is that we could be controlling our cars in the near future through the mobile phones. So on the other hand, how can this be affecting the security, the safety of my car and mobile phone at the same time in terms of cybersecurity?
I cannot find a more brilliant question to answer because I drive a vehicle which is outside the nation. You can control it with your phone. And basically how you control it with the phone is when you want to park the vehicle, you stand outside and you turn on the phone and then the vehicle will slide in a very narrow parking spot. This technology is not allowed in our country for security reason because I can basically, within 50 feet, I can control the vehicle, so I can damage, I can do so many problems.
Yes.
We understand the security of that from national security level. And we also understand that there are some vehicles has some recall because they found security holes in their system. So somebody outside can really play with the vehicle while it's on the road, and they
Yes.
can create an accident. So it's a big issue to have everything electronic with vehicles. So I still love the tuk-tuk because it does not have this technology. But it's a very legitimate question. We need to strengthen our security in our mobile devices, which means you need a stronger mobile device, a most recent mobile device, which incline that you have more investment because you are buying now the most fancy technology. So if we want to understand how this will be deployed, it's a part of an ecosystem. You cannot just buy the vehicle, buy the phone, because now you are on the border of a big fortune to buy them. But it's true.
Yes.
What reduces the consumer acceptance, or what we reduce the regulators deployment for this technology, one of the biggest issues is the security to the public and the security of the devices and national security, like how this can be a dual use to harm people as well as to help people out. But I laugh because my has this application outside.
Yes, this is a very important transition to the self-driving cars, the autonomous vehicles. We can see them in several markets outside of Egypt. What are the pros and the cons of them if we can apply such an idea here in the country in the near future?
As my personal opinion, not representing anybody,
yes,
this technology is very far reach than our country. Because if you understand Salah Salim Road, it does not have lanes. So having a vehicle which is drive itself among all of these people is next to impossible. We have been seeing these vehicles, like for example the monorail. The monorail might be driverless. The monorail will not have a driver.
Yes.
So the monorail, yeah, it has a special rail. It does not interact with so many vehicles or objects around it in the surrounding. But monorails and this new technology is actually autonomous vehicles. Having this autonomous vehicle in high density area is a kind of it may not happen because the public will not leave it.
Yes.
If we remove all vehicles driven by human from the roads, replace it with all mechanical, computer, robotics driven vehicle, autonomous will happen, will be very simple. So we have been watching different experience overseas. We knew that there are some high road, which is high occupancy of trucks, exclusive occupancy with trucks, and there are some practical or some pilots right now running where you can run the full trucks autonomous and the human sitting behind the wheel just for emergency.
Yes.
But I'm sure that Egypt will not have this experience at least within the coming 20, 30 years. This is my personal opinion. The official opinion, I can say it.
Yes.
We are moving along the technology. We are equipping our roads with lanes and so many features where these vehicles can drive around. Moreover, safety for school busing system, for example, like school buses right now, they have monitoring systems, they have some kind of automation inside where we can secure and monitor our kids going from home to school.
Yes.
These are subsystems, but having a driver to drive the vehicle itself, I couldn't see it how it happened.
Yes, and finally, Professor Wael Badawi, the field of logistics and transportation, how can we be affecting its efficiency for the future through the information technology and the artificial intelligence?
The field of logistics, it's for the standard viewer has to understand that it's not moving a box of goods from a location to a location.
Yes.
Is also using the most effective, the most cost-effective means. So, for example, if you have oil coming from outside, the oil will go through Ahmadiyya port, it will go through Summit pipeline, it will be exported from Sidi Crair, Northern to somewhere else. So having logistics managed by AI or by information, it supports the optimization of the cost. So we can dramatically reduce the cost
Yes.
of goods. We can also verify, like we have been working in projects where we look at containers, quality of containers, verifying the number of containers or the containers IT. This will equip the port operator with solutions where they can verify that this is the correct container to process. We have been working overseas as well in projects on secure shipment, where you have special locks, and the special locks will have automation where when the lock will go through a specific gates, all paper documentation will go electrically or in electronic format to the authority. Authority will verify the stamp, and you allow transportation for goods and danger goods from Mexico up north and to Canada. And all the transitions happen through not only AI, however, it's also digitalization and digital. In our nations, this kind of operation might be a little bit difficult because our supporting legislations may not exist to allow taxations or importing taxes to be automatically and 100% electronic wise. We still having the legislation which required human inspections. It has non-trust because we don't have trust shipping. So this kind of automations, we can talk about it as applied elsewhere. For sure, technologies like blockchain, like secure communication, like secure tracking, all of these technologies support AI and the digitalization for logistics overall.
Yes, Professor Wael Badawi, the professor and the head of the Data Sciences and the Cybersecurity Department at the School of the Artificial Intelligence and the member of the Egyptian Council of Research on Communication and Information Technology. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure having me here. Thank you.
And of course, we'll be taking a quick break, so stay tuned.